Hi everyone, I'm Tom and this is my top 10 video for the games I am most excited about for Essen SPIEL 2017. If you'd like to know some other games that are coming out, I did a preview video of everything that I'm interested in, which turns out it's about 90 more games, so, I understand if you haven't got the time, it's about an hour, but you can skip through and just see the ones that you're interested in. Anyway, that's linked somewhere, I imagine. And also, the Board Game Geek preview is where all of this information comes from, really, and the Tabletop Together tool is the main way that I organise it as well. There'll be links for those in the description. Number 10 is the Palace of Mad King Ludwig, which follows on from the Castles of Mad King Ludwig from a few years ago. And in that game, we were all trying to build separate castles that most satisfied the Crazy King's demands. And now it's all one thing that we're building together. It's still a competitive game, but we are, working towards goals and everything, but we are laying, they're all the same shape. They're all square tiles that we're placing down, but we're still trying to complete rooms to get bonuses and things. It's based on, I really, really love castles, and it was straight on my list because of that. It's got really interesting things of how it all works together. The rooms have got entrances that give certain coloured swans, and you need to match those up with similarly coloured things that are already on the board, but the person who owns the room already out on the board is going to get a swan as well, so you're kind of picking who you're helping and things like that. And I've seen the Game Boy Geek has done his review of it, which I would recommend, and he goes through, what the game's about, and there's a really, really interesting thing of, as the tiles start running out, we start placing this moat around the castle that we're building, and the game ends when the moat, surrounds the castle that we've built. It sounded like a really cool game end trigger. I really like that. The one thing that I've got concern for and why it isn't higher on my list is that it seems like blocking is going to be a big part of it. It seems like, if somebody is trying to complete a room that's going to get them a load of points, well, why don't you place you have to match one entrance up with these rooms, but there's nothing stopping me getting a room that's only got, 2 doors on it and then just putting a wall blocking your room and so you can never finish it. It seems to be a big part of the game, but it's, time will tell if it will still be great without playing like that. But I'm still really excited for Palace of Mad King Ludwig. Number 9 is Santa Maria, and this is a tile-laying dice drafting game where we are trying to build up colonies, and as we draft dice, they will activate rows and columns on our grids and, activate the buildings that we've been placing down. And we're competing over a conquistador track and a religion track, which will unlock monks that we can put on special abilities or endgame scoring things. It's actually, I wondered whether it should still be on the list. I made this list before I had the game, but I have been sent the game to make a video before Essen, and I've played it now. But it was still on my anticipated list at this position, so I've left it on there. But yeah, it seems really, really interesting. It's from the designers of Avenue from last year, which was a much smaller game, I admit. But I really, really enjoyed that game, and it's got nice art and everything, and it's good to see a bigger game from them as well. So yeah, Santa Maria. Number 8 is Altiplano, which is a game from the designer of Orleans, which is a bag building game where it's, similar concept to a deck builder. You'll be improving your workforce as the game goes on, but they are tokens that go into a bag, and every turn you will draw so many out of this bag to decide which actions you can do. Orleans is an absolutely fantastic game, and the expansions just improved it, turned it into a cooperative game, all sorts of things. I'll admit that I haven't even read that deeply into the rulebook for this because it's just a must-buy straight away from there. You'll see some games where, yeah, I don't know that much about them because it's just like, yep, that's all I need to know. I am in for this. And look at the box art. It should be there, hopefully. Look at the box. Look how good it looks. How could you not want that? Similarly, number 7 is Merlin from Stefan Feld and Michael Reneck, and it's on here, yeah, purely because of Stefan Feld, but the game does sound interesting as well. We're at a round table, Merlin, and we have our certain knights that can be moved with our dice, but we also have a dice that can move Merlin as well, and our workers can only move clockwise and Merlin can move either way, and they will activate different actions and things. But I'll be honest, purely because it's Stefan Feld, it was just straight on the list. Number 6 is Clans of Caledonia, which was a really successful Kickstarter early in the year. I did a solo playthrough of the prototype of it, so I'm really, really looking forward to what the end product is like. But this was such a great game. It's a game that kind of mashes up a lot of elements that you might have seen in other popular games, but comes out, complete with this completely original feeling thing. Although you can see echoes of where the things came from, it's definitely its own game. It's an economic game. We're trying to build out on the map, but you know, we're putting out, you know, pastures and dairy farms and things, and we are trying to build up resources to satisfy contracts that will earn us points, or it will let us import goods that are worth different amounts of points throughout the game. We just make the goods so that we can sell them, and you know, there is a, you know, dynamic market. As you sell stuff, the price is driven down because of supply and demand. And there are special player powers for each clan has got what seems like a really crazy power to begin with, but then everybody's power is crazy. It was a really, really great game. You can check out the playthrough of the, you know, prototype for that, but really, really excited to see the final thing and play it again. Number 5 is Kitchen Rush, which is a frantic real-time cooperative game where our workers are sand timers, and you know, you put them on an action and you have to wait until the time runs out before you can do anything else with them. If you watch the preview video, then you might recognize that I mentioned another game, A Tale of Pirates, where that description describes that as well. But you know, they're nothing to do with each other. It's just, you know, great minds think alike. It's like Gene Genie and Blockbuster. It's exactly like that. But in this, we are running a restaurant, and I just like the theme way, way more. And I remember when it was back on Kickstarter, there was a Rado run through for it. It just looked fantastic. It looked like a really nice, you know, frantic real-time game. And I like the added element of these sand timers as well. Number 4 is from CGE, Pulsar 2849. It's designed by Vladimir Suhi, did I say that right, Paul? Who is the designer of Last Will, The Prodigals Club, Shipyard, which is amazing. This is a different kind of game where we are drafting dice, and just the drafting of the dice will affect certain tracks. You know, there's an initiative track that determines turn order, and another track that determines who gets resources at the end of the round. And then after you've drafted them, you will do certain actions with them. You will maybe be moving around this big spacey map, trying to take control of pulsars and harness their energy and build these, let me find out the name, it was amazing. Energy Transmission Megastructure Array, which I think has got such an amazing rhythm to it that even if I wasn't sold on the game already, I would want it desperately because of that, and you should too. Try saying it a few times. Energy Transmission Megastructure Array. Number 3, this is Nusfjord, which is from Uwe Rosenberg, and that should be a huge clue of why it is on this list and so high. I am just, you know, instantly in for an Uwe Rosenberg game, and this seems like one of his not his huge Feast for Odin kind of games, but maybe a Glass Road sized game, a quicker little thing, but still quite a meaty experience. In this, I know that there's a stock system where you can buy and sell stocks in other people's companies, and what they do in the game will, you know, benefit the people who have the stocks in them. You can hire elders that will change the game up quite a bit, but you will also need to pay them as you earn money because they are helping you earn it all. And I know that there are a lot of fish tokens in it, but all I really needed to know was new Uwe Rosenberg game. Number 2 is Charterstone, another game that I don't really know much about, but this time it is incredibly intentional of just, I don't think there's very much information about it anyway, but I don't need to know anything. It's a legacy worker placement game from Stonemaier Games, who have made Viticulture and Euphoria and Scythe, and the first 2 are amazing worker placement games. Not that Scythe wasn't a great game, it isn't a worker placement game though. And I particularly love in Euphoria, it was a dice worker placement game, and it had this thing where you could go into a space and you would block it off for other people, but anybody else could use it, but they would return your dice to you, whereas usually you would need to spend a turn getting the dice back. Charterstone's got that with the workers, I know that much, and I know that the rules look like a sticker album where it's got a load of empty spaces, and throughout the course of the game you will be filling those in. We will be making decisions on which buildings to place on the board and all sorts of things. It's got a recharge pack so that once you're done with the whole thing, if you want to start again, you can buy something that's about £30, I think, where the game's about 70. You can buy this thing that will, the board is double-sided, you can just flip it over and start again. But Jamie assures us that the game is a playable game after the 12 sessions that are the campaign. The game is perfectly playable with your own completely unique version of Charterstone, but I absolutely can't wait for it at all. And number 1, on another very, very similar note, it's Pandemic Legacy Season 2. And just like Charterstone, I don't really know much about this. Although I said a lot about Charterstone tonight, after I said I know nothing at all about it, I did start describing things. Pandemic Legacy, I don't know. I saw a picture of the back of the box a long time ago when it was first put out, but I haven't looked at it since. I can't really remember, and I won't say what I do vaguely remember. I know that it follows on from Pandemic Legacy Season 1, but kind of just, you know, references it a bit. It doesn't really rely on you, well, it definitely doesn't rely on you playing it at all. You can go straight into this. Pandemic Legacy Season 1 was fantastic. It was one of the best experiences we had. You know, I had to be, you know, reined in from just playing it all in one great big go because I was loving it so much. The only thing that is kind of not really giving me pause, because it's still number 1, but there is a thing at the back of my mind of will I be anticipating this way too much now? Because, well, I was anticipating season 1 loads and loads and loads because I love Pandemic and I love the idea of legacy games. So now it's gone off a really successful one, which was, you know, probably it's definitely one of the best things that we have done in gaming going through the year of season 1, and I can't wait to see what's new, because I'm sure there are going to be plenty of new tricks available in season 2. But will it live up to the hype I have given it based on how much I loved season 1? Well, we'll know pretty soon, because not only is it going to be at Essen, it's coming out everywhere, I think, next week. It's coming out in the UK for sure next week. So we'll get to try that at once. Actually, you might get to try it before me, because I'm probably going to get it in England and get it when I come back from Essen, because space is an issue. But that's not your problem. You just wanted to know about games. But you've known about them all now. I've told you about all 10. As I said, there's the preview video where you can go and watch 90 more games that I'm interested in to slightly lesser degrees. And yeah, I am off to Essen in a few days. I'm going to be there just before the fair starts, but yeah, hopefully going to be filming stuff there, absolutely going to be picking up games, hopefully meeting some people there, and yeah, there will be plenty of good things. There will probably be a bit of a drop-off in videos in the week that I'm there, unless I manage to get something, a couple more things edited before I go, but time is looking incredibly tight, so I'm not sure whether that'll happen. But, you know, you understand that, don't you? So that was my top 10. I'll see you after Essen, everybody. Bye.